Age does not equate to wisdom. And I think people need to know that age does not equate to wisdom. You can always find someone younger who is much more wiser than someone who's older. And I think this is something important to speak about because um, traditionally we idolize older people as wiser people. Yes, they have years of experience in their name, and yes, they have years of life lessons, but that does not equate to wisdom, because wisdom is found within the pain and the depths of reflecting on the sorrows of what you've gone through. A lot of people are roaming around thinking that age equates to authority, and I don't believe that. And I'm speaking from a place of pain, because sometimes, growing up in toxicity as a child, as a black sheep, you're the only one who's the most mature one in the family. And that can sometimes make you more isolated in families, more alienated in friendships, and more discriminated in communities simply for the fact that you think differently, you look different, and you act differently. And I think sometimes wisdom comes from actual trauma and processing trauma. So it's not necessarily an age factor. It's the fact that as an individual, to what extent do you really go deep and heal the inner pain? I find this topic very interesting because we are in transitions in our lives right now where we're all feeling different kinds of pain. It doesn't matter what age we're in. And sometimes people who think that they are older think they know better. And, there's a saying that says, the man that knows something knows that he knows nothing at all. And that's somebody who's wise, because you got to be wise enough to know that your age does not equate to wisdom. You being older does not mean that you are wiser than somebody who's younger. And you being younger does not mean that you're better and wiser than somebody who's older. Wisdom sits with those who have been wise enough to know that they are not wise to know everything, or they don't know everything. I think I like this concept a lot, because as we continue to shift our mindsets, and as we continue to really go deep, and as I continue to really go deep within myself, I realize that wisdom comes from a lot of trauma. Wisdom comes from letting go. Wisdom comes from going with the flow. And it's not about age sometimes. It's about how you reflect with life. So think about it a bit. Don't ever think that your age gives you the audacity and the authority to look down on somebody who's younger than you. In fact, a 4-year-old can teach you more about life sometimes than a 44-year-old. And, there's a life is just literally about learning from one another. And this is the message that I wanted to share today, that your age does not always equate to wisdom, but be wise enough to know that you may not know everything. And I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.